Hello there and welcome to African Student Voices show on AAU TV. AAU TV is the voice of higher education in Africa. And don't forget, we are coming to you live from the headquarters of the Association of African Universities here in Accra, Ghana. And my name is Jemima Deladem Dotsey and I'm going to be your host. Today we will be discussing merits and demerits of online education from the perspective of a student. And I have here with me lovely guests who I'll introduce after the break. But don't forget to follow us or share your comments and your views on our social media handles. Association of African Universities on Facebook and YouTube, AAU TV _African Universities on Twitter, and AAU TV official on Instagram. Stay tuned, we'll be right back. Welcome back from the break, and if you just joined us, this is African Student Voices, and we are going to discuss merits and demerits of the online system of education from the perspective of a student. And I have here with me lovely guests, which I'm going to give them some few minutes to introduce themselves.
Thank you very much. I am Awuah-Pobi from the University of Ghana and the president of the Political Science Students Association.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I'm in the person of Ayitah Nene Elliot. I'm the SRC president for the University of Professional Studies, Accra.
You're both welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, so as we all know, we'll be discussing the merits and demerits of the online system of education from your perspective as a student. So I'll read here a study by Rispoli, which says that over the past year, online education has become the new norm for most students, for better, for worse. And then some students have strived with a newfound flexibility of being remote, whilst others have struggled with the isolation. So now with this study, I want us to discuss how you think the African institutions are adapting to this new system of the online education. I'll start from you.
Thank you very much. So as a student, I would say that we are trying our best possible to adapt to this new this new policy. That's the online policy.
Yes.
But there are some challenges, and I know as we continue, I'll be able to voice out the challenges that students are going through. Thank you very much.
All right. Nene, how is your institution?
Yeah, I would say one of the most oft used terms is pandemic is we are in a new normal. So thereby there's increased use of online tools. So the COVID-19 pandemic has triggered new ways. And then I have to commend my management as in UPSA. They rose up to the occasion, and you know they've developed new ways. Though there are still challenges, it's normal. You can have shortcomings everywhere, but so far so good. UPSA, we are doing all right. But as we go on, as he said, there are some disadvantages.
So Stephen, I'll come back to you. So as this institution is doing a little to help you, how are the learners, or are you, the student, also helping yourself to adapt to the new system of education?
Thank you very much. So from the perspective of a student, what we do is that we have this group discussions, this peer-to-peer discussions, and also we have tutorials where we meet in person. And for me, I would always side with the traditional studies. That is the best, and the online cannot just counter it, because the online comes with so many challenges. And just imagine when we were in the house and we were doing this online, the lecturer would give us questions, objects. When you are done, you realize that people will send a lecturer email. And I've been a course rep since level 100. When we're doing this traditional studies, you wouldn't have any complaint or anything. But this online studies, when we are done with an examination, that's objects, you see students PMing you, please send me the lecturer's email. You ask them why, they will tell you that I had network issues, I logged me when I was doing it, logged me out. Like all these issues are killing us. And to me, I would forever stand with the traditional form of studies.
But don't you think, with the way the world is evolving, this is the time Africa, have to adapt to the new system? We've always been flexible with the traditional system where we go to class, our lecturers come with us, we are all in the same room with their instructions and all that. And I feel maybe this is the time that Africa should also evolve and adapt to the online system of education? What do you think?
Thank you very much. So when we are talking about evolving, then it brings into fore globalization.
Okay.
And when we are talking about globalization, then we are thinking of modernization.
Yes.
And you know, I believe that now when we are talking about modernization, it should be in the social, political, or socio-educational structures of a particular country.
Okay.
Now study Ghana as a whole. You know that we are a third world country.
Yes.
And we have so many challenges. Let's put aside even this educational or something, but you know that we have network challenges and other things that when we introduce this online, when we try to adapt to globalization, we are going to be affected. So maybe in Europe or in Asia, they are strong when it comes to technology and IT and other things. Exactly. Because they have the resources. Yeah. They have things that would aid them in doing all these things. But Ghanaians, you go to some countries, they don't. You go to some towns, they don't even know how to use a mobile phone. You go to some places and you will not even get network. I've been to a place called Isifal for a project, and before you would be able to get one bar, you have to stand beside, I think, some old building be somewhere, and it was even in the forest. Wow. You go and stand there before you be able to get one bar to call. So think about people who are coming from these areas and they are trying to study from these institutions or maybe University of Ghana. How are they going to adapt? So I think the best thing that management should have done is that they should have adopted a bottom-up approach where they would be able to interact with students. Yes, University of Ghana did that, but it wasn't to my expectation. At the end, they did what they felt was best for students. So I think they failed to do this, and this is the disadvantage that we are getting. Yes, so we just have to keep quiet and suffer.
Okay, Nene, would you want to add?
Yeah. So, in my perspective, UPSA rose up to the occasion, as I'm always saying. In the sense that we are not only doing our 6 weeks online, we are doing a blended type of education system now. Okay. And I'd like to take it from this perspective. My colleague here said something about we are the third world country or something like that. But should we say that we are the third world country, so we should stay there? I'm saying no. You see, that is where I have this problem, where Africa will stay where we are, because we always focus on the problems, not the solutions. Okay. Look at it right now. Right now we have drones. Yes. So that means that a pilot who's supposed to hold one of the cameras inside a helicopter has lost his job. Exactly. Yes, in 10 years to come, digitization is catching up with us fast. Very fast. And then we can only survive in this world or in this time only if we rise up to the occasion. So in the case of UPSA, we started these 6 weeks online because we knew that still students will need some time to adjust to the online system. Yes. So trainings were done in the respect to our lecturers. Okay. Because we know that some lecturers are not abreast with how to handle this Google Teams, Microsoft, and all of that. Yes. So and Zoom. So our lecturers were trained beforehand. Even before the online classes start, we're trained, our lecturers, and they in turn trained us. Okay. Do you understand? Yeah. So thereby, and then also we've done this in respect to what he was saying, people missing class, as in people missing queues and people missing the deadlines and all of that. Yeah. We have an LMS, and the LMS is like we use the Moodle app, and then if you turn on your notifications, they send us prompts, links to our emails. Okay. Exactly. So everybody is, once you enter into UPSA, you are entreated to log into your UPSA mail, and then every single day you are sent cues and notifications that you have this assignment due. Sometimes a week to time. Okay, so that means every day it reminds you. Your days. Yes, because we understand that it's not normal, and then people will miss those things. You see, I think it boils down to the focus of a student. If you are paying facility fees or you are paying fees to acquire an education, which is hard at this time where we have COVID. You have to make sure that your mind is focused. Thereby commending the UPSA counseling unit. Okay. We organize programs to change the focus of students, for you to be oriented, for you to be how will I say it, for you to be focused that fine, this is the problem. We can't do anything about it. It is not our fault. COVID pushed us to do this. And you see, I can even cite something in UG in the sense that I'm not attacking anybody, but in UG right now, their calendar has changed. It's messed up. To be truthful, but
actually a lot of schools, they are
a lot of school, but in UPSA, calendar is moving.
Okay.
We have had our semesters. We started our semesters. Soon our freshers will be coming.
Yes.
And currently he is in level 300. I'm in level 400, but he's supposed to be in the same thing with me.
Yes.
You see, that is so. When our management rose up to the occasion and we took opportunity and we saw the changes and things we had to do, we did. Though it was not favoring, but we learned as we were going. Yes, though there are a lot of disadvantages,
yes,
and as I said, if we are going forward, I would state them. Yes, but you see. We should do our best, and then once we cite the problem, we should always try to find a solution, like what I said in my earlier things. Yes, please.
Yes, please. So I'll come to you, Stephen. I know you have a lot to say. I know you have a lot to say. I see you are really keen on promoting this traditional system of education. I see that is what you are always pushing for. But right now, I want us to discuss the affordability on the online and then the traditional system. The online, you can be anywhere and still access your lecture notes, anything that you want, and be able to learn wherever you are. But with the traditional, you have to be in the classroom with your instructor. How do you think any of this system of education is affordable to a student?
So I think the traditional is more affordable because with the online, what students will do is that sometimes we'd have to buy data.
Yes.
We have network issues and other things. And also one thing that we have to understand is that we don't only pay school fees in institutions. We pay attention to.
Yes.
So if you are in an institution where you do not pay attention, then what is the need of you going to school? And you know, I asked some of my mates, and let me read one of the things that a lady said. She was like, last semester we were doing full online, and this is what she said. She's like, last semester was stressful, connection problems, buying data all the time, and honestly, I didn't learn anything.
Wow.
I just studied and passed.
Okay.
I took nothing out of it. Some lecturers did not even bother setting up a meeting. They will just upload slides on Sakai and you will learn on your own. I like the online IAs though. The reason why maybe she would like the online IAs is because she will get someone to help her out. And it even goes on in UPSA. Because I've gotten people who would ask me to help them out in their political related courses. And she's like, if you do well and you push just a little bit in the exams, you will get your A or your B plus. Where is the country going to?
That's true.
If we don't have the knowledge after all these. Now we are focusing on the A's and the B plus, not the knowledge. So with the physical, it is affordable because with that, when you are done paying your school fees, you just have to go back in class, pay attention, study, and by then we're doing 30-70. So 30 for your interim assessment and 70 for your examination. So people would learn hard. Yes, the institution tried to provide us with data and other things, but it wasn't enough because after lectures, when you take the course outline, they've provided some articles and other things and videos that you have to go and read them, and it's not enough. So they will later come out and tell us that if the data is not enough, then when you are done, buy some and use it. And you are going to use your money again. We've already paid for Wi-Fi. And you are going to again buy another data.
That's
so
true.
I think the physical it's more affordable than the online.
Yes, for personally, as he's saying that the physical is affordable. I think that the online would have been affordable, but in my case, management is spending more to make sure that the students are okay.
So if I'm getting you clearly, for their side, the students is spending more, but not management. But from your side, your management is actually spending more to make the learning easy and accessible.
Yeah, I cannot speak for their side though, but for my side, management is spending more to make sure that, you know, in trainings, in the YouTube channels, in the digital center I spoke about and all of this. But in respect to what he said, I don't know if I have to say this, but can you give me some of the people who seeked for help Because UPSA, we don't do any political.
You can actually seek for help from anywhere.
For sure. But you see, that is one thing that I also cite when we come to the problems. What he stated.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So that is what is coming from them. One sees the online education as okay, but a little expensive. So when we go for this break and come back, we will delve more into the discussion. Stay tuned. Welcome back from the break, and if you just joined us, this is African Student Voices, and we are discussing merits and demerits of the online system of education from the perspective of a student. You can also drop in your comments and your suggestions on our social media handles, Association of African Universities on Facebook and YouTube, AAUTV_African Universities on Twitter, and AAUTV Official on Instagram. You are welcome back from the break. So before the break, we're talking about the affordability of online system of education or the traditional system of education. Now, I want us to discuss some of the challenges that is coming with our online system of education. I'll start from you, Mr.
Thank you very much. So it is expensive because sometimes you'd have to buy your own data and go. As I already stated, management helped us to some extent, but it wasn't enough.
Yes.
So it's very expensive for us. And also we have network issues because when Wi-Fi is not helping you, you resort to this data. Network and those things. And you realize that you log in, it logs you out. It's like we play this Tom and Jerry game on Zoom. Okay. And it's not helping at all. And sometimes when you log in, some of the lecturers, because they are not much abreast with this whole Zoom and other things, they find it difficult to host. And you know, they have to do this with their TAs. And sometimes their TAs are not present. Yes. So they even have challenges in doing that. So I've met lecturers and they will tell me that, Steven, make sure that you guys push for on-site. That's traditional studies. Okay. And that is what they also like, because they believe that when they interact with the students personally, they are able to imbibe something in the students rather than online. With online, someone can be there and be dancing or be playing music or even be eating and cool. So I think these are some of the challenges we are going through, and I think we are striving to survive.
Exactly. Yeah, you don't have any choice, Nene.
Yeah, so I think I prepared a list of some things.
Okay.
So if you would allow me to, of course. So I think the first thing is inability to focus on screens. Yeah. For many students, one of the biggest challenge of the online learning is the struggle with focusing. So what I did was every disadvantage I put a possible remedy to it. So struggle with focusing on screen for long periods of time. As I stated, that we can be online for 2 hours to 3 hours. So with online learning, there's also a greater chance for students to be easily distracted by social media and other sites because you are using your phone. Sometimes I have notifications from Instagram and stuff. Yes, so it pops up. So you see the distractions are there. But you see, in this case, it all boils down to focus, as I was saying. If you're focused and then you know what you're about, and you know that I have to study because it is not my fault. It is not management's fault. It is because of COVID. So we are all trying to adapt to it. So what I am going to do is I'm going to make sure that on my iPhone, whenever I'm having a class, I go to my settings, I turn off all my Instagram, Snapchat, all the social media, WhatsApp, everything. So that means that I'm only focused on the Zoom class or the other thing. Yes. And also, it is imperative for students to keep the lecturers can also add crisp and engaging interactive ways to keep students on the Zoom platforms. Exactly. So my second thing is also technology issue, in the sense that we are not all fingers are not equal.
That's true.
It's not everybody who can have access to laptops and then high-end smartphones and all of that. Exactly. So in that case, that's also one problem. And also consistent connection with a speed problem. You understand, they can't access. Then sense of isolation, students can learn a lot from being in company of their peers. Like if we are together, sometimes we learn. Exactly. So that's also a problem. And then teacher training, but I think we've sorted. It's a problem in his school and other schools. But personally, my school management trained our lecturers before all of this. Okay, when it started, they were not trained, but during that period, they enrolled most of them, and then they taught them about how to handle all of those things. And then manage screen time. So many parents are concerned about the health hazards of having their children spend so many hours staring at the screen. This increase in screen time is one of the biggest concerns and disadvantages of online learning. Sometimes students also develop bad posture and other physical problems. So a good solution to this is to give students plenty of breaks. Exactly. So maybe if it's a 3-hour course, maybe there should be breaks few minutes to keep the students interacting
I think
more.
even in physical, the physical system of education, I know lecturers who actually do that. When, let's say, the class is, let's say, 3 hours or 2 hours, let's say after 1 hour, they allow you for maybe 15 minutes, you step out, you stretch. Maybe if you want to take water, if you want to visit somewhere, you go do that, just to stretch your bones and then come back.
That's so the last thing is also the data bundle. So this is also another issue. Students do not have funds to foot these kind of bills, but luckily in UPSA, as I said, management has, if you're on campus and then some hostels around, there's EduRoam. The only problem is that our students, you see, they've done it, but you have to go to the ISTD. We call our IT sector the ISTD. You have to go there and then get them to activate it for you. So you have a personal password so that nobody else can use it out. So it's only students who are actually paying for this who can actually have access. And the SRC also, the administration that took over from, did their best to procure Vodafone data SIM cards for the students. And then the Yabom administration, that's our administration, and it was in our time we decided, okay, fine, we are going to revamp it. We are going to look at because I always believe in system. Upgrading a system. Yes, the system is working, but let's upgrade it. Let's find the loopholes and let's find solutions to them. Exactly. I am not a type of complaining person. Yes, I always try to look at the problem and then we think about it. What is the solution? How can we solve it? How can we make our people happy? So I think by far, and there's one more. The authenticity of a particular student's work is also a problem. Exactly. And I think management also have this kind of problem. You see, in my school, management is not really happy with online. They wished they could do the traditional way because it is costive on them to run their online. That's in my university. So they wish that we could do traditional, but you see, as time goes on, it will change. And it will change. But right now, to rise up to the occasion, they have to do this. So you see, students don't have lost their identity over their own works. In a sense that right now I can call Mr. Stephen here, as he said, and he will do my work for me. In the first place, I am not learning. Exactly. Because if he's doing my assignments, so the assignment is supposed to make you research, and right now there's a vast information online, so supposed to help me research and all that. So I think that's also a problem, the authenticity. So
right now, we know about our TVET institutions, the technical and vocational education and training. And these institutions mostly go the practical way of their studies, where they practice what they learn in their field of studies. So I want to find out from you, Mr. Stephen, how you think these TVET and vocational institutions are adapting to the new norm, which is the online system of education.
Okay, so I think once they have a management to be helping them to also adapt. But one thing that I would say is that once they are doing a practical learning, they should be allowed. You know, we have who coming out with this whole COVID-19 protocols. So I believe that now once a particular institution is following this COVID-19 protocols, then that institution should allow to go to the physical way and perform its tasks. You look at UCC. UCC went, how do you call it, traditional, and nothing happened to them. And they were adapting to, they were just following the COVID-19 protocols. So I think that now it's not always about online, but you have to also take into consideration the concerns of the students. Someone would prefer physical. When I was in basic school, all the theory science, I never understood one bit. But whenever I get to the lab, I'm able to perform like wonderfully. So when we are doing the practical aspects, we have to experience those things. If you tell me that there's a tripod stand, I'll forget. But if I go to the lab and I see there's a tripod stand and I tap on it, I know that there's a tripod stand, and when I see it, I will be able to identify it. So I think they should just go to the COVID-19 protocols, then continue with their practical learning, and I think it would also help to some extent.
Nene, for you, I want you to talk about virtual realities. I know you know a little about it. So let's talk about virtual realities and how it's helping the TVET institution.
Okay, so if the institution has the funds or the capabilities to use virtual realities, I think right now it's best. Because I am always for embracing the new normal, the change, the future. Exactly. See, in the case of if they are allowed to do in-person practical, you see, it is management takes a risk to allow students to come in their numbers to do the old traditional way. So it boils out to the question of, is your management willing to take that risk? Some are willing, some are not. So the virtual reality is a good thing because it mimics the you being in the physical in the field. Exactly. You are taken through videos and then like virtual reality. Exactly. So it's not, the feeling will not be like you being in the physical room, but it makes up for that. Yes.
So we are almost coming to the end of the show. So right now I would want both of you to share how you think both the online and the traditional system of education can be done in a blended way to help improve our higher education institutions. I'll start from you, Mr. Stephen.
Thank you very much. So I think that for studies, it should be done on site. Then if lecturers have maybe tests and other things, we can go back online. And also what can be done again is that when we are doing our online, our on-site studies, lecturers can equally record and place them on Sakai, so that when students are unable to get to their class, or even during revision weeks, these students can go back to Sakai to listen, because there are some students who can't use the Sakai in University of Ghana. I'm a course rep, so I understand. They will always text you and they'll be like, send me the slides on Sakai. You ask them to go to Sakai, they'll tell you that I don't know how to use it. You get it? So sometimes they can come to your room, they'll come for tuition, they'll go back, they'll call you again, they'll be like, I don't know where to go. So with all the taking into consideration all these things, I think that it will be expedient that we go to our traditional way. And maybe if there is going to be IEs, these IEs and the lecturer can just use Sakai, or maybe if the lecturer have maybe PDFs and other things that he wants us to read, you can just place it on Sakai so that we access that. And I think with this blending, we have a long way to go. Because when we focus only on the online, I bet you, the knowledge that we have, it would never happen. It would never happen. And you can conduct your research at University of Ghana students. Get 5 for them here, set a question for them. Ask them their favorite course. Set a question for them. They should try their hands on. And maybe place 1,000 Ghana cedis on the one who can get maybe 60. Just try that. I'm being realistic. Just try that. And you know that the online system is not helping us at all. Maybe we are happy because students have an advantage of getting an A or a B+. But sometimes when you're even done uploading your exams, or maybe your assignment on Sakai, some of the lecturers would not even read, they will just give the marks out. And I'm going to make sure I champion this before I complete school. We have to also know our faults whenever we are done with examination, so that we will not commit the same mistakes. I know I'll try my best. I know it didn't work, but I'm going to try. I'm going to try my best. Of course,
it's good to try.
Yes. So I think when we do this, we are good to go than just focusing on online because the world is changing. We move from A before we go to B. So if you're unable to solve the A's, you shouldn't jump to B because everyone is doing B. It's going to affect us at the long run. Thank you very much.
All right, Nene.
Yeah, so My colleague has said a lot. So in our case, I think we are already practicing the traditional and the online.
Yes.
And so far we are doing well. I would say we are doing well. The only thing I would say in respect to that is in the case of every student hates online class.
Yes.
But we like online exam.
That's
because
true.
we know we can get help from our friends.
That's true.
But you see, management is also not happy with this. So in my school like this, we have UniCheck.
Okay.
You can't just upload your assignment on the LMS and expect to get an A. People write and get F.
Really?
Because the UniCheck will check everything.
Yes.
Because we are taught scholarly writing. So you're supposed to do referencing, you're supposed to check all your... So it will check the system, check the net. You're not supposed to just lift from the internet and put it in your paper and upload it. No, the UniCheck checks everything. So it causes the students to do individual works. That is in my case. The only problem that I will cite is that, you see, you have to pay your fees before you can access the LMS in my school, in a sense that you have to pay your fees before you can access the LMS. So some students, we are not in normal time. So some students also cannot actually do that. But I think our lecturers are also doing it, because apart from that, they are giving us Gmail accounts and other places where we can submit our assignments. That's those of them who have not paid their fees. It's like, you see, my school is like, everybody think that I'm praising my bad. Yes, I'm praising my school, because my school is doing its best to rise up to every problem. So when the problem comes, we find a solution under the leadership of Professor Awuah-Pobi, our very visionary leader. He teaches us well, and he's always rising up to the occasion. Every problem that comes up, UPSA has a solution to it. So far so good. Personally, my people, some of them have not embraced it, but the majority have embraced it, because we are understanding it and we are rising up to it. Though it's not easy, but in this world, nothing good comes easy. So yes, we are up for the challenge.
Okay, so you guys are up for the challenge. Thank you very much for coming on the show and sharing with us your thoughts on the merits and demerits of online education. So you have been watching African Student Voices on AAU TV, and don't forget, AAU TV is the voice of higher education in Africa. And as you know, today we discussed merit and demerit of the online system of education from the perspective of a student. And thank you very much for tuning in with us with AAU. Don't forget to drop your comments and your suggestions on our social media handles: Association of African Universities on Facebook and YouTube, AAUTV_African Universities on Twitter, and AAUTV Official on Instagram. Don't go anywhere. Keep keeping safe, and catch you next time, same time. Bye.